The reason that I created Lawsuit Funding Capital is I had worked as the vice president of sales at Golden Pear Funding for 4 years, and it took a toll on me. It's a great company, but the problem becomes is the company's basis is to make as much money as possible, and of course that's not bad with business. But the thing is that during that process, you also have to deal with underwriters. And what underwriters are is, of course, these are the people who actually underwrite the loans, and they give you notes on, how they feel like the case is, what the liability is, do they agree or do they not? And one thing that I noticed is that underwriters don't want to be responsible for losing money. So what would happen is a lot of underwriters are underwriting the case based off of fear and not based off of what can I do to make this work for everyone? What could I do to be able to help this client? What can I do to be able to help this attorney? How can I make this work? And the negativity just got to me. It was endless. I mean, some of the things that they would say about the cases and some of the things that they would say about the attorneys that I worked with. And you spend a long time cultivating these relationships. And these were people that, in a way, I considered them friends, not just clients. And they would just rip these cases to shreds. And it got the best of me. It became a very, very down place where I was more worried about putting the case in the best light to the underwriter than I was about the actual true case details. So I decided that I wanted to move on to another company, which I thought was more than fine. And that was my first taste in litigation. The company sued me. I didn't even realize I was young, and had a non compete, had no real idea what that was. And I was flabbergasted because a company that had hired me from another company would not allow me to be happy and move on from them and take my talents to a different company. And that is what really started my fever and of litigation finance. What really made me start looking at it differently and looking at it in its totality of saying, wow, if I'm going to go through this, what options do I have financially if I run out of my own money? And that's why I built Lawsuit Funding Capital, because of that personal experience that I had myself in dealing with the litigation, and being being left in the dark about how it goes, not understanding that I could even borrow money, not understanding that I could use and leverage litigation finance or lawsuit funding, as they call it, to my advantage.